Coming up next on City Corner, we talk about employment diversity in the St. Louis region. Please stay tuned. Welcome to City Corner. I'm your host, Melanie Adams. Today, we're talking about employment diversity in the St. Louis region. Joining me is Sable Campbell-Jones, Director of Diversity and Inclusion for the City of St. Louis. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Melanie.
Now, you have such a big title. Tell me about what does that mean? Put it in layman's terms for people.
Okay. Diversity and inclusion means exactly that. Let me just talk a little bit about who I am and where I'm from. I am a lifelong city resident in the city of St. Louis, and I was educated in St. Louis public school systems. I started my education with Harris-Stowe State University, and I ended graduating with St. Louis University in social work and psychology. So then I just went on to work with many groups of different nationalities of people in the social work field. So that brings me to diversity and where I am. I also grew up in a very political household. My mother was very political, but my father was in law enforcement. So there's a great realm of diversity there as well. So what the inclusion portion of my position is we have 79 different neighborhoods here in the city of St. Louis. And a great part of what my job is to reach out to all of the neighborhoods and to bridge relationships and opportunities for all inclusive in the city of St. Louis.
Well, I think that's really important that we do emphasize that inclusion part because I think a lot of people just think diversity, it's just kind of reaching out and hoping people come to you and hoping that you get a diverse population, but really you're trying to reach out to people to say, yes, you're welcome in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, we're going to be working with, again, many diverse groups, the LGBT groups, the disadvantaged, handicap, immigration, any and everybody that's a resident in the city of St. Louis we will be working with. St. Louis is no longer being seen as just a black-white city. It is a very diverse city, and so the mayor of the city has made it clear that his focus is to work with each and every neighborhood, have very progressive representation in each neighborhood, and that's my job.
And sorry for my ignorance on this, but is this a new position or has this always been going on and now we're kind of building it up a little more?
This is actually a very new position, okay? And it is a very new position because our city is growing so very much, and as I said, we have so many different ethnic groups here in the city of St. Louis, and we have to reach out and touch every person that is a resident.
Right. And I think one of the issues that affects everyone, whether African American, white, immigrant, really is jobs and employment. And one of the things you really work on is also WMBE.
Yes.
So that falls under your area. Can you talk a little bit about why that's still important?
Oh, certainly. And what the MWBE is, it is the Minority, Women's, and Business Disadvantaged Groups. And what I am going to be doing is I will be working with the MBE offices that's housed at Lambert St. Louis Airport. And I will be working with the compliance officers to assist in making sure that businesses that are seeking to be accredited for certified, I should say, to run businesses in the city of St. Louis, that they have everything that everything that is needed to make sure that they are in compliance and they're just not front groups to front companies for they're just not fronting
Right.
for companies that are not legally,
Right,
you know, the
WMBs.
companies to be.
Right, and I think that's really important because I think a lot of small African-American women, immigrant-owned or women-owned companies really may not see the importance. They're like, I don't want to do the paperwork, it's a lot of work, it costs money. Why is it so important that they get that certification?
Well, one of the main reasons is just as I said, to make sure that they are a legal operating certified company. And so if you are a legal operating certified company, you don't mind going through the application process, and you're able to present all of the certifications and all of the documents that are needed.
Right. And so what are some other programs and things that your office offers? In addition to the WMBE, what are some other ones?
Well, a couple of the other tasks that I'm working on. For one, I've been in my job for 44 days now.
You're counting down the days, you're counting up the days now. Okay.
And I have also worked a lot with immigration, and it's very interesting. Again, we have so many different ethnic groups that are here in the city of St. Louis. Some who are definite residents and some who are striving to become residents. And what our goal is to, you know, that a lot of the people come into St. Louis and they're educated right here in our universities, and then they get opportunities to do internships here in some of our companies. And what we want to do is we want to keep those people here and help grow our economy. And I know that it's going to be a little change and a little different for some of our native residents who are here. And a lot of the questions and the pushback, you know, from native residents is that, well, once that one person gets employed, that takes away from the jobs of our native residents. Well, that's not exactly how it happens. And you'll hear a lot more about the immigration process in St. Louis and the region from one of my colleagues who will be coming up next.
And one of the things I really like, though, is that you talked about retain, because I think we always think recruit, but we do get a lot of people who come to St. Louis to go to school, and then what are we doing to make sure they want to stay here? They don't come here for school and then go off somewhere else. So I think that retention part is really important. Why do you think people come to St. Louis other than school? So if you're looking at our larger immigrant population, so you know something like the Bosnian population, but what are some other groups and why are they finding St. Louis attractive if they are?
Well, I've got a chance to go down on South Grand and visit the Immigration Institute. And I've gotten a chance to talk with various immigrants and refugees there as well. And a lot of them come, well, their families are coming to St. Louis for educational reasons, however, but then they talk and they recruit their parents or they recruit, you know, family members to come in because they understand that the United States has more of a freedom type living arrangements or and they're trying to get away from so much of the war and everyday, you know, things that and so many of the rules and regulations that, you know, are cast against women, and they want the freedom, and they want clean water, you know, just the a lot
of the things that we take for granted.
Exactly.
It was interesting. I remember once going to the International Institute, talking with some parents, their kids were in the St. Louis public schools, and it was so interesting because they were like, we're happy you provide transportation, we're happy you provide lunch. It was just a very different type of reality, and I think a lot of them are, you know, they do appreciate when they come over here a lot of the things that the U.S. does offer, but I think it takes departments like yours to make sure we continue to value them and their contributions.
Exactly.
Now, from what I can tell, it seems like also you have a lot of immigrants who then want to become entrepreneurs. And so how do you work with them to kind of teach them how to start their own business?
Well, a lot of that is at the International Institute. There are a lot of different programs that are set especially for immigrants. There's different kinds of funding, you know, that's there, and they go through certain processes to meet, you know, those certain goals so that they can achieve, you know, the things that they're trying to achieve, and to go on and become entrepreneurs, because so many of the immigrants, they're readily able to start, and they want to start businesses versus, you know, actually working for a company. And so those are some of the other things that we welcome to help grow the economy for St. Louis.
Well, as your 44th, 45th day in office or in your position, I guess, what does success look like? So if you look a year out and you look back, how will you know you've been a success or the department's been a success?
I will definitely know that I've been successful, one, that I'm still employed.
Look at the base.
Okay, because one of the things, again, Mayor Slay has definitely set out, he's clear about reaching out and progressing the city. So, I mean, in my area, when I have touched a lot of people, I've bridged a lot of gaps, I have been able to bring City Hall out into the community and bring the residents into City Hall to help them understand, you know, some more of the resources that are there, and help them understand that, you know, we are a friendly, resourceful branch of government that works for, you know, the city. Right. So,
and I think that's really important because, as you've said and as other people have said, in order for St. Louis to grow economically, it really has to diversify, and that's diversifying its population through employment, through entrepreneurship. So a lot of great opportunities for the city to grow over the next few years. Well, coming up next on City Corner, we're going to continue this discussion. We're going to talk with the St. Louis Mosaic Project about what they're doing to help diversify employment in the region. Please stay tuned.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Yo, what up? It's your man Nelly, and you watch your STL TV. Experience the Lou all day.
Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes, and stay informed during severe weather any way you can.
Welcome back to City Corner. Today we're talking about employment diversity in the St. Louis region. Joining me now is Betsy Cohen from the St. Louis Mosaic Project and Ola Anyanyan, CEO and founder of Eateria, a marketing platform tool to help businesses succeed. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Let's start with you, Betsy. Tell me a little bit about the St. Louis Mosaic Project and what exactly is it?
The St. Louis Mosaic Project is a regional initiative for our bi-state region to have regional prosperity through immigration and innovation. And we have a broad steering group that is looking to how do we increase the foreign-born population in our region so we can grow and not decline as a region. So we have a goal that by the year 2020, we have the fastest rate of growth of foreign-born versus any of the other metropolitan areas.
Okay, and I think it's important to know that this was put together by both the city and the county. So
Yes.
you have Mayor Slay as well as
the county executive.
The county executive Dooley kind of working together on this.
Definitely. This was the mayor, the county executive, Joe Reagan, head of the regional chamber, many of our business leaders, university leaders, the International Institute, a major combined effort to have all these groups work together, and now with me as the director to move us forward so that we can become a more welcoming area and have more foreign-born people come and help us expand the economic pie.
Right. Well, I think that's a great transition. Ola, you moved here recently and you
Yes,
started
I
a
did.
business. So can you tell us a little bit about your story and why you moved to, why St. Louis, I guess, is my question.
Well, I moved from Chicago, and I was originally from Nigeria, where I was born. I've been in the Chicago area for about 17 years now.
Okay.
And recently, we are one of the Arch Global Business Plan winners. I started a company out in Chicago, was very successful, and now that we won the Arch Global Business.
And what is that for people who don't know?
So the Arch Grand Global Business Plan competition is a competition where the city of St. Louis, with a group called the Arch Grand, put together, where they will go out and look for companies. We all apply.
Okay.
I understand there are over 700 companies that apply.
From around the world?
From around the world.
Okay.
I think they got applications from 14 countries.
Oh, okay.
And so they will drill it down until, I think, 18 of us.
Oh,
so my company is one of the companies that won that.
Right, congratulations.
Thank
That
you
is
very
amazing.
much. So in addition to that, we've also won 3 other awards before we came here to St. Louis. And then from Chicago, here I am in St. Louis.
So the award was part of what brought you here.
Correct.
Now tell me a little bit about your company. What does it do?
Well, my company, Eateria, it simply helps restaurants, food and hospitality businesses to build local loyal customers and to keep them coming back. And the mission of the company is to make small businesses sustainable. When you look at the dynamics of restaurant operators, for instance, in this country, we have about 60,000 restaurants that are opened every year.
Oh, God.
And about 50,000 of them end up closing. So our mission is to make sure they remain sustainable, which impacts the local community.
Right. Well, I think one of the things you said was it's not that restaurants close because the food is bad. I think you said it was because they didn't have marketing or
Absolutely.
they didn't have the...
So 6-7 years ago, if you open up a restaurant, you don't have to do anything, people will come. But today, in this digital age and what we call the visual economy, where people now, we all have the iPhone, we have the iPad, we have to see things. If you open up an organization or a restaurant and you don't promote it, then you are bound to fail. So it's not that they don't understand how to, create great food or create an exciting experience. What they don't know is how do I bring new customers in and how do I retain current customers and keep them coming back. And that is where we come in with Eateria.
Right. And then Betsy, so the St. Louis Mosaic Project, how does it help companies like Ola's kind of get their footing in St. Louis? So not every company can win an award. So how do you help them?
Last year there was a study by Professor Jack Strauss of St. Louis University, and it showed that we are below 5% in foreign-born in our region versus the other top 20 markets have an average of 20%. Foreign-born.
Did he figure out why that
Well,
is?
there are a lot of reasons. One of them is we have to understand that foreign-born people have a higher propensity, 60% more likely to start a new business. And so as we attract more foreign-born people or welcome them here, for example, winning the Arch Grants Award, we bring people who are entrepreneurial who then create jobs. And when I met Ola recently, he talked about bringing people from Chicago, and now he's also hiring people here. And so this is a story of job creation. And for us, as a region, as part of the St. Louis Mosaic Project, we want to share that message. We want to put the message out to other parts of the United States, to other foreign-born people with an entrepreneurial drive to say this would be a good community because like City Hall, and like Sable said, we are going to be welcoming, that our community will welcome you, our neighborhoods will welcome you, that we are understanding that this is an addition both economically and culturally to help reverse what we've seen going on in our St. Louis region. So I think what Ola and his company are doing is a example for others.
How are you finding your move to St. Louis, and then is it easy to attract people to move here? And I know you did mention you have a few jobs, so I want to make sure you have an opportunity to talk about what you have available.
Well, it's been tremendously positive, I would say. We got support from all angles, including Betsy's organization, and even the move to transition my family from the suburb of Chicago here. I was just describing that. We moved to our neighborhood, and we're just in the car, we came out, and the neighbors just came out. And everyone is saying, hi, how are you? How can we help you? Welcome to the neighborhood. That is fantastic. It's warm, it's exciting. We got support from all areas. So for us, it's a great transition from Chicago to here. And in addition to that, we also found that the people in St. Louis are very friendly. That's one thing that my wife particularly and we were talking about yesterday. We said, oh my goodness, people will smile, say hi,
Did they not
hello.
smile in Chicago?
Well, they do. They do smile in Chicago to say. However, you have a sense of, people will look you in the eye and say hello. And for my own wife, that means a lot to her. So from our own standpoint, that has been nice.
Right. Well, I always, I think as Sable mentioned, St. Louis is a city of neighborhoods. I think 79 was the number, and we're very neighborhood driven. It's like, I don't live in St. Louis, I live in Shaw. We like our neighborhoods, and so I think that's wonderful. So talk a little bit about the positions you have available.
So at Eateria, we're hiring people for sales positions, both in-house and outside sales.
Okay.
We're hiring people for account management. We're also hiring people for data entry.
Okay.
And as we grow and expand here in St. Louis and downtown, we intend to add quite a number of people to the organization. So we're very excited for the opportunity to be here and to add value to the overall community. Because now St. Louis is home for me.
Right.
I want to be an impact of someone who's adding value to the community, helping people, doing something positive in the overall community as a whole.
And in order to apply for the jobs, they can go to your website?
Absolutely. So they can go to myeateria.com. And when they go there, they can go to jobs, or they can go to eateria.co, and they can see /jobs. At that point, they can also see opportunities where they can apply directly.
Okay, and Betsy, I know you talked about having some volunteer opportunities and already have 140 people looking to be ambassadors for you?
Yes, as part of the St. Louis Mosaic Project, people say, how do I help personally get involved to make our region more welcoming, more globally oriented? And so they can become a Mosaic ambassador, and there are several things they get to do to help us spread the message. I thought we would have 50. We already have 155 as of last week. And they can go to stlmosaicproject.org, and it says learn more, and they can find out what you do as an ambassador and how do you help us move our region forward.
What are some of the key things they're going to be doing? And is there an age requirement? Is it 18 and up? Oh,
no,
okay.
well, they need to be, yes.
Right.
They do need to be 18 and up to do some of the activities, but others younger people could do. They need to share information about making our community more globally oriented. They need to invite a foreign-born person to dinner or for coffee. They need to visit the International Institute. They need to donate $10 to several of the organizations in town that support immigrants. And they need to be available to share their knowledge of St. Louis or their home country to others so that we can make this a more welcoming community.
Great. Well, it sounds like there are some wonderful opportunities to be involved in the St. Louis Mosaic Project, whether you are a new immigrant moving to St. Louis or whether you're a native St. Louisan and you really want to welcome people in. So I think that sounds wonderful. So tell us a little bit about, if you were going to describe your experience here in St. Louis being an entrepreneur to someone either back home or to someone who was thinking of moving here, what would you tell them?
I would say them, move. I would say, there are so many states and cities in America, but the support, the excitement that is coming from St. Louis, I would say, is one of the best so far. Because I've been in other places, I've traveled quite a number of places. I've traveled to many parts of the world as well. I like the environment, I like the people. And the opportunity to contribute is another thing.
Right.
You know, you can be a giver or you can be a taker. Right. So what I have as a vision for our organization overall is how do we add value to the overall community? So I would tell them, come to St. Louis, that's the place to be.
Great, great. Well, and Betsy, I wanted to talk briefly about the importance of kind of the St. Louis Mosaic Project to the overall economic development of the region, because I think we know in order for this city to grow, continue to grow, it really is about immigration and getting people in to develop jobs. So can you talk briefly about that?
Yes, I think that all of our different ethnic communities are working together, listening and learning, and they will be a real asset to help us reach out to other people who are in the United States who may want to come here. And they will come here to live, they'll come here to create jobs. We know some facts that of our startup community here, our entrepreneurial community, about a third are foreign-born, whereas only 4.5% of our population is foreign-born, but a third of our entrepreneurs are foreign-born. So we know that there's a high propensity for that kind of startup activity to happen if we are welcoming and allow it to happen. But we have to work with all of our neighborhoods and our people here for have them help us help them bring others here. You know, you can't just put a sign up and say, you know, foreign-born people, please come to St. Louis. It's about who we are as a community and how we work together to make it inviting. And when people come to interview, it could be for the job expansion at Monsanto, or it could be to create new businesses like Arch Grants. We want to be welcoming and say, other people have been successful, you will too.
Right, and I will end on the same question that I asked our previous guest, and that is, how will you know you've been a success? How will you know the St. Louis Mosaic Project was successful?
Well, I will know several ways. Short term, I hope we get to 250 Mosaic ambassadors. And then longer term, by the year 2020, we need to have the fastest growth rate of foreign-born. We know we have 126,000 foreign-born people in our region now. So my view is we have to reach about 132,000, 133,000 in the 2020 census, and we will know that together we've been a success.
Right. Well, that is wonderful, and it sounds like with entrepreneurs like Ola, we are definitely on our way. I think it's really important for the St. Louis region to really embrace diversity and inclusion. I think both of those are very important as we move forward if we want our city to continue to grow and prosper and become one of the top cities. So I would like to thank all of our guests for coming on City Corner today. We will have some information at the end, so you'll be able to learn more about all of these wonderful organizations and how you can be involved. And see you next time on City Corner. Thank you.